moment to talk about seventh chords. And the seventh chord is really the important harmonic building block for playing jazz. Triads, which we talked about, are kind of your simple version of chords, and you have to know them to get through to the next level of harmony. And harmony, by the way, is a term that's interchangeable with chords. So to get to the next level of harmony, the seventh chord, you have to have already learned your triads, because we're building on top of those. Okay, so for jazz, generally you use much richer, much more colorful chords, the seventh chords. Triads, which we dealt with before, those are kind of Bob Dylan chords, rock chords, etc. People build their entire careers off of triads. Not in jazz, however, so we have to get to this next level. It's a pretty easy conception, however, if you already know your triads and you've got that idea under your belt pretty well already. What you're doing, essentially, is adding one note to each triad. We talked about the 7 triads that are built from your 7 degrees in the major scale, and we're going to have 7 chords. Now, seventh chords, we'll call them jazz chords or 4-note chords. Those 3 terms, seventh chords, jazz chords, 4-note chords, I'm going to use interchangeably, and we're going to have 7 of these. Again, just by adding one single note to each triad that we already know, and you get this much more rich, much more colorful sounding harmony. Just to quickly review, to build triads, we started on the root and jumped in thirds. So the triad built from the first degree jumps over 2 to get to 3 and over 4 to get to 5. So you've got a triad that is built 1, 3, 5. That starts on the root of the major scale, but you can also start on 2 and you jump in thirds each time. And 1, 3, 5 was major, 1 flat 3, 5 was minor, 1 flat 3, flat 5 was diminished. We're going to add one note to that. So this time, and this is why they're called seventh chords, by the way, you jump 1 over 2 to get to 3, 1 over 4 to get to 5, the initial bass triad, and then over 6 to get to 7. So our seventh chords are constructed with 4 notes, a 1, a type of a 3, a type of a 5, and a type of a 7. And that produces a 4-note chord now from the stem of your initial triad system that we talked about before. So with the triad types, we had 3 types. But with the additional 4th note, you're going to have 4 types. You've got more possible configurations. So let me tell you quickly about the 4 seventh chord types. We've got a major 7 chord. And I'll play them at the same time. We've got a major 7 chord. We've got a dominant 7 chord. We've got a minor 7 chord. And we've got a half diminished chord or minor 7 flat 5 chord. Those are the 4 types. To build those, you start on the root of each chord, and again, you're going to have 7 of them because they're built off of each scale degree of the major scale. You've got a 1 chord, a 2 chord, a 3 chord, a 4 chord, etc. through the 7th degree of the scale. But some of them are the same types. You only have 4 types again. So a major 7th chord is built 1, 3, 5, 7. All naturals. 1, 3, 5, 7. A dominant chord is built 1, 3, 5, flat 7. You just flat the 7, lower it by a half step to get the dominant chord from the major chord. You have a minor 7 chord, which is 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. So you flat the 3rd to get a minor 7 chord from the dominant 7 chord. And lastly, you have for the half diminished chord or minor 7 flat 5 chord, it's 1, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7. you've now flatted the fifth to get from minor 7 to minor 7 flat 5. Again, it's major 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, dominant 7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, minor 7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, and half diminished, 1, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7.